Di, here's this very scary stat I'll share with you. It says that women CEOs are 33% more likely to be removed from their roles than male CEOs, and their average tenure is significantly shorter. Why on earth does this happen?
Gabs, this is a great question. It shouldn't be happening, but it does, and I think there are a few reasons for this, and I've seen it myself firsthand as a CMO. Oftentimes, when I walk into that boardroom and I'm sitting around the C-suite table with my peers, I'm the only woman in the room, and so obviously I've got to that place because I have the experience, I have the skills, I have a good measure of influence within the business. But sometimes it's still hard to be heard, to be truly heard within that room. And so I do think that women are more at risk because there's more at stake. There's also less of us in the boardroom. So the eyes are all on us. There's less margin for error. There's less room for maneuver.
And do you think women are good at asking for help?
I think women are definitely better at asking for help than others. They definitely recognize the merits of working with others, maybe building that kitchen cabinet and not trying to go it alone all the time. I think that is something that is a particularly female trait. And here, I think it's very much a silver lining because they're going to be much more likely to reach out to, say, or a group like Paceworks to help them solve these problems, especially when, again, they probably haven't come up through the marketing channels. They've been a CFO or a very successful COO or whatever the other role might be. And so they have some blind spot areas that we can really help with. And they're just going to be much more likely to ask for help.
So it seems like there's a contradiction because women are more likely to ask for help, but they're less likely to be heard. So how do we square that circle?
Yeah, this is a great question, Gabby. And I think part of the answer here is that bringing in an external consultant, whether you're a female CEO or a male CEO, this can really help you to cut through because you can bring in an external voice that is dispassionate. They don't have the internal politics, the relationships, the jockeying for position. There's not an agenda there. They're just looking at the situation. They're drawing on, and we draw on that deep expertise that we have and what we've seen in the past and what we see in front of us. So it allows us to make those observations and make those statements that are really hard to say internally. So sometimes it can be a really useful tool to have an external group of advisors like you and I at Paceworks to come in and help square that circle.